Whittward Carver, quantum cod and chips. A proper knees-up with fish flux and fractured physics. The air in Ahmed's fish and chips was thicker than a Sunday gravy, reeking of vinegar, chip fat, and that peculiar London gloom what clings like a soggy jumper. The caff was a proper dodgy gaff, where the laws of physics went for a cheeky kip, and the regulars were more likely to be quantum nutters than blokes off the Walworth Road. Behind the counter stood Ahmed, the fry-cook sage with hands like battered cod and a face carved by decades of dodgy oil. His apron screamed "I love CPT symmetry" in ketchup-red letters, and his chips flickered like a dodgy telly caught in a right state between crispy and mush. Sat at a sticky table, slicker than an East End spiv. Two QRA agents eyeballed each other. Brock Schrödinger Catcham, a 58-year-old relic with a mug like a crumpled Evening Standard and a scar over one peeper, courtesy of a quantum paper cut what nearly turned him into a footnote, slurped a cuppa from a thermos labelled "Caution, may contain singularities." Opposite him, Pip Sprocket Wibble, a 23-year-old sprog vibrating like a tube train, with a half-quantum entangled shoelace, scribbled notes on a napkin what kept phasing into Sanskrit. Brock belched, his voice a gravelly groan like the Northern Line at rush hour. Rule 1, Gov. Quantum villains ain't villains, they're maybes. Last week we nicked a neutrino doing a 6-dimensional tax dodge. Took a black hole bean counter from Canary Wharf to sort the spreadsheets. Pip, eyes wider than a Weatherspoon's pint, blinked. But how do you nick him a neutrino? Brock slid a fish across the table, greasy as a politician's handshake. You don't. You give its waveform a right tickle with a haddock. Ahmed's cod's 80% quantum foam, innit? Makes a proper net. On cue, Ahmed slammed down 2 plates, chips glitching like a drunkard's GPS. Special today. He winked. Schrödinger's scampi, crispy and soggy at once. Complaints'll cost you a kidney. Pip leaned in, whispering like a market tout. He's one of our lot? Brock, mouthful of quantum cod, nodded. Retired. Ran the 2047 Great Chip Shop time loop. Got stuck frying his own thumbs for a dozen years. Now ease our snout. Pass the ketchup, will you, the quantum one? Before Pip could mutter "blimey," a thwirp shook the room. The napkin dispenser exploded into a vortex, and out strutted a telekinetic haddock in a monocle, seaweed cape flapping like a posh ponce's scarf. It spoke in a plummy accent posher than Harrod's hamper. "Ah, Catcham, still slumming it with fish and philosophy? I'll reduce your waveform to tartar sauce." Brock, cool as a cucumber sandwich, jerked his chin at Pip. "Oi, Sprocket, lob the mushy peas." Pip chucked a glob of peas. The haddock dodged, but the glop morphed into quantum slurry, freezing it mid-flop like a West End statue. "Did I win?" Pip gasped. Brock scoffed. "Nah, mate, that's just the starter." The wall dissolved, revealing the Intergalactic Tea Society sipping Earl Grey from black holes. Professor Quark waved, trapped in a teacup, while Harold, a bloke in a tweed flat cap, raised his cuppa. "Lovely kerfuffle. Fancy a brew? Stabilises the old noggin." Brock rolled his eyes. "Not this lot again." "Right, Pip. Outsourcing time." Harold tipped his tea on the haddock, turning it into a koi pond fancier than Kew Gardens. Mabel, a nan in a floral pinny, dropped a banana cake, sealing the vortex with a plop. Pip gawped. "This standard ops, then?" Brock shrugged. "Tuesdays, innit?" Ahmed tossed Brock a bill for £999.99. Reality cleanup, don't ask. And Brock grinned, lighting a cigar what burned backwards. "Stick it on Quark's tab. He's good for it, the melt." As they ducked out, Pip's shoelace untangled itself. "Wait, you planned this, yeah?" Brock blew smoke shaped like the London Eye. "In quantum copping, you don't plan, you wing it. Now, let's collar that sentient parking meter scoff in Paris." "That a metaphor?" "Christ, I wish." "Oh. And the twist is, Ahmed's secret recipe was the QRA's backup plan all along. The whole kerfuffle? Pip's initiation test, and the posh haddock? Brock's ex-mate, cursed for using decaf in a quantum espresso machine." As they scarpered, the koi pond winked.